What's going on, guys? My name is Spitfire, and welcome back to what is unfortunately the very last episode for Arches. Real quick, I know that I've been really late with this. I've been working on a bunch of stuff on the side that I'm hoping I can get onto this channel very soon. Just wanted to say, happy holidays. I hope you guys had a great one, and I hope you guys are going to have a great New Year's as we close off 2023 and enter 2024. I think it's going to be a great year. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Ooh, April of 2020. Alright, let's see where this goes. Cameron starts working again after that week. He wants to feel useful again, and because they're both working from home now, seems like a reasonable idea. Devin didn't want him starting yet, of course, but Cameron wants that sense of normalcy to come back faster, and his shitty job had seemed like the perfect solution. Trying to work with mostly one paw does come at a bigger challenge than Cameron had expected, not realizing how much he'd use his non-dominant one. Typing is particularly slow, but he was getting better at managing it. Still, it makes him sluggish, and even though his boss is understanding, even telling him just to come forward, even telling him to just forward any rude customers her way, it still leaves him occasionally flustered in ways he isn't used to. After a rather harsh call that begins with "Thank God, someone I can finally fucking understand," then ends with "You know what it would have been faster?" Cameron waits for the answer. Anything! This is the last time I buy some chink-ass phone made in some shit factory. Cameron rubs his eyes, wondering how different the interactions would be if they did face-to-face video calls. This phone was actually assembled in the States after Julian pledged. It's not the answer the man wants to hear. Cameron can tell even before he gets cut off. Transfer me to your superior, please. Of course. One moment. As Cameron reaches for the button to press his boss lines, he hears the man muttering under his breath. Didn't know they hired retards for customer service. Hey! Rude? No big deal. He would get one of those every week, and according to his coworkers, it's gotten worse since the pandemic started. But why did that one hurt his feelings so badly, to the point that his eyes are welling up with tears? Maybe it's because he went through hell and back, and that man has no idea. No idea. Oh, jeez. And his computer screen seemed to stretch far away. Cameron finds himself grabbing the edge of his desk like he's about to fall over. Pressure grows in his right ear, and he realizes that maybe that's what's causing the strange feeling of being off balance as the world tilts. But no, he's tripping again. It's a flashback, just a flashback. No, it's a brain damage, and you'll probably feel like this forever. Brian poisoned you. Oh my god, so his trauma is literally leaking in from... Cameron holds very still, positive he didn't think those thoughts just now. You're a fucking retard. Can't handle a literal customer stereotype? Just smash the keyboard and admit you can't work anymore. Cameron brings a paw up to his right ear where the voice came from. Is his headset still on, or...? No, and you can tell it's coming from inside your head, you idiot. You stupid fuck. Worthless. After that, Cameron remembers very little except panic, followed by confusion. A ton of confusion. His thoughts make no sense. The voice that's definitely not his thoughts. Doesn't make sense, and now he doesn't understand where he is. The voice continues to encourage him to smash the keyboard, so he does, just to see if maybe it'll break this bizarre half-dream. Devin in his own study hears this. After finding Cameron sobbing on the ground, surrounded by black plastic keycaps and bleeding from the reopened stitches. Ooh! A frantic Devin drives him back to the hospital. Oh, maybe, huh? That might be it. Oh my god, like this is literally like pulling an Outlast right now. He's literally become the host for these voices. Maybe I'll stop if you grab the wheel and turn into the median. For old time's sake. And he doesn't even need a fucking fan. Look, Mom, no fans. The voice snickers. Continues to laugh at him all the way to the psychiatric ward. October of 2020? About 7 months after Echo, 6 months after his episode, Cameron feels worse than he did right after Echo. The voice that had wormed its way into his damaged ear had disappeared just a few days after antipsychotic treatment, but it returned again and again every few days. Whenever something upset him, whenever he gets into arguments with Devon, and really whenever it pleases, it makes itself known. It comes in a deep masculine voice, though sometimes it's Brian-like in how it taunts and laughs at him. Short asides that were sometimes mean, sometimes meaningless, sometimes boring, all the things that Cameron would do and the people that he would see. It feels like it's trying to remind Cameron things aren't okay as weeks continue to come and go with manageable, but clearly present psychotic symptoms. He'd worried his broken arm would stop him from being able to play music as well as he used to. Turns out he didn't have to worry about that at all, because he doesn't give a fuck anymore. Like a switch, his interests, his motivation, his want to do anything productive or useful seem to just turn off. Yeah, like, this is eating at him. His thought process had been wrecked, and that disorganized thought during his episodes became present even when he wasn't having one. His mother said she needed meth because it fought the feelings that her psychosis brought on, which was brought on by the meth. A vicious cycle. Speaking of which, he finally gets his diagnosis. Yep. Oh man, I feel so bad for him. Schizophrenia, likely induced by the trauma and drug use in Echo. Not that it really matters what induced it, but the problem is that he has it. There's no taking that back after all. Wow, look at that. We actually get to see him for the first time in like a while. Holy, I don't know, like half of these words here, I have no idea what any of these are, but we're gonna try to pronounce them. Propranolol, for restlessness from akathisia. Escitalopram for depression. Trazodone for sleep and depression. Topiramate for weight control. Guanfacine for tick, and PTSD, and clonazepam as needed for anxiety and panic attacks. He is on so many drugs now. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Okay, let me look this up, chat. I'm sorry. Propranolol. So it can treat high blood pressure. It slows down your heart rate and makes it easier for your heart to pump blood around your body. Okay, so this other one that I have no idea what it's pronounced as. It's used to treat depression and generalized anxiety disorder. Trazodone. Let's see. Increases your levels of serotonin and non-adrenaline so you feel better. Okay. Topiramate. It's a medication used to manage and treat epilepsy and migraine. Guanfacine. So that also treats high blood pressure by decreasing your heart rate. Okay. So that basically does the same for propranolol. PTSD, clonazepam. So that may increase the risk of serious or life-threatening breathing problems or coma if used along certain medications. But it's also used for treating panic disorder, epilepsy, non-convulsive static epilepticus. So yeah, that's a lot of drugs that he has to take now. Wow. That's insane, dude. I feel so bad for him. Like, Cam really did not deserve this at all. His head tilts to the right before coming back up in a sort of twitching movement. Twice. Tick, tick. The symptoms of schizophrenia are devastating enough, but so are the side effects of the antipsychotics to treat it. Side effects that are covered up by medications that cause even more side effects, which in turn are maybe more tolerable. The first antipsychotic he tried made him too tired, and he was finally switched after 4 months. This switch aggravated the dopamine in his brain, according to his last psychiatrist, and for some reason, this meant that his childhood motor and vocal tics got to come back. Not just come back, but they came with a vengeance, to the point that when he got especially emotional, his neck and sometimes his body would go into an uncontrollable twitching fit. At least he could hide it, or at the very least control it when he was younger. It makes him feel like some kind of freak show in public. His vocal tics would come up at the worst moments. Talking to anyone other than Devon would result in awful humiliations that sometimes triggered psychosis again. When a vocal tic involving his diaphragm appeared, one that he'd never had before, Cameron really began to despair. It would force him to exhale for 10 to 15 seconds before holding it in until he nearly blacked out. Then it would release, and he would gasp in air again, vision coming back through blurry tears, only for it to happen half a dozen more times in agonizing waves. It was so distressing that each time it happened, it triggered an episode, and he'd be left with so many tics happening at once that even Devon couldn't communicate with them. The familiar tightening in his abdomen signaling the approach of another episode was enough to make him whine and cry in dread. All of this because of that damn pill that's supposed to help him. 3 or 4 of those vocal episodes every day for a week, and Devon finally had enough and found a different psychiatrist. This helped a great deal, and Cameron found himself trusting her far more than he ever did his first psychiatrist. She immediately switched him to another antipsychotic, one that she said would help his tics too. Still, when Cameron had been readying himself to take his first dose, he broke down and cried like a child. I am glad that Brian is dead. He needed to die long time ago. Like, I'm just so upset at this right now because Cameron did not deserve any of that. He even begged Devon to not make him take it, which just made the whole situation so much worse. What if it caused more problems to show up? What if it made him worse? Cameron read about all the horrible lifelong side effects that antipsychotics cause. Wish he didn't die so he could go to jail. That's being too good to him. Even then, he would be getting the death sentence. Like, it doesn't matter if they took him in or not. He would be getting the death sentence immediately. Dyskinesia, akathisia, dystonia, catatonia, and his old childhood bane that had been amongst forgotten about. Tourette's syndrome. The word tardive can be placed in front of any of those symptoms, which means that even if you stop taking the drug and even if year goes by, the symptom lingers. And then there's always the worry that tolerance might build. Supersensitivity might set in and the dosage might need to be increased, and then he might develop a treatment-resistant form of schizophrenia. All from these little pills wreaking havoc on the synapses of his brain. More poison, more brain damage. Cameron rubs his right ear vigorously. You're the brain damage, asshole. Fuck you, brain damage piece of shit. Why don't you take the whole bottle, pathetic faggot? Think you could just talk to me like that, fucker? Remembering the management techniques that his therapist taught him, Cameron takes a deep breath. Okay, I'm just taking my medication. It's been a few weeks now. My tics decreased by over half, and I haven't had a breathing tic in 4 days. I feel like this is good progress. What I think is positive symptoms have decreased by maybe 40% over the last week. Good progress. I just hope my negative symptoms improve as well. That's my next goal once I reach stability. His thoughts are his own again, and that makes Cameron feel good at that, at least a little bit, knowing that some things are coming easier. He begins opening his pill organizer and pulls out the most important one. His psychiatrist had been right, and for once Cameron feels like that might have at least found the right road to the new him. Despite tolerating paliperidone much better than the last antipsychotic, it still causes the same side effects that make him need to take all the other meds. At least it's making his tics better. Tick, tick, tick. Though he doubts they will ever truly go away like they did in his childhood. Tardive Tourette's syndrome. Devastating on its own, but still controllable, manageable with time. He has to believe that. As the sound of pills rattling against the plastic seems to echo through the kitchen, Cameron hears Devon in his study. Oh, you taking them now? Just a sec. Huh, that was fast. Cameron mutters under his breath, feeling just a little resentful knowing that Devon had been listening in on his thinking out loud technique. Cameron sighs and picks up the pill again, staring at it closely, as if able to see its molecular structure, engineered to block the dopamine receptors in his brain. The root cause of psychosis, at least at the molecular level. It's more complicated than that. It always is. Devon comes up with just his underwear on. A year ago, it would have been sight that Cameron would have appreciated. He probably would have put his arms around him and rubbed his face into his chest like he used to. But his sex drive was killed months ago, either from meds or just one of the many symptoms of schizophrenia. It's just another reminder that he's not who he used to be. While sex is the last thing on his mind, Cameron knows it's important in the relationship. He occasionally would force himself to do it and pretend to enjoy it, but everything aches now, and in the end he'd find himself staring at the ceiling. Devin noticed this and eventually suggested that they wait until Cameron feels better, until he actually wants it himself, which only made Cameron feel worse. Devin's libido is stronger than Cameron's ever was, so he knows it must be sexually frustrating for the bear. But right now, Devin is just standing there, smiling pleasantly as he watches Cameron. Making sure you take your poison, he wants your brain damage more than it already is. A jolt of fear, a dip into unreality. Cameron feels angry at how easily the voice slipped into his thoughts again. Useful poison. Cameron winces at the crazy coming out of his mouth. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud, if that's what you were wondering. Okay, that's good. Remember, it does seem to act up right before you take your medication, so don't worry about it too much. Yeah, you know I don't need you to watch me anymore. It's quiet as Cameron swallows the pill, angling himself so Devin can see. Then he follows it with the rest of the 5 or so pills he holds in his paw. Cameron finishes swallowing those, knowing that in an hour he won't be able to keep his eyes open. Right? Or do you still not trust me? No, I agree with you, it's just... But we also agreed I'd do it for at least a year, in case, even if you said you were fine, remember? Cameron hates the fact that he's right. Yeah, because you don't trust me. Spitefully, Cameron turns to show Devin the underside of his tongue, so that the bear might be suspicious he's hiding it. Cameron? You want to do a cavity search too? Hey, you know, maybe that can be a solution. I take my meds and you get to play with my ass. Oh, come on, don't do that! Cameron feels the burst of anger from Devin, and for some reason it feels good. You know, that's a kind of fucked up thing to say, don't you think? Is that what you think I even care about right now? Devin's already sounding angry, quicker than he usually does, and suddenly they're in a fight. The ones they never had before echo. Things must be getting extra stressful for Devin if it's this easy to provoke him, and Cameron should do something to help him, to soothe him, but instead he wants to fight. For a moment, he even wants Devin to hit him. Kill him. Grab one of the knives. Punch him right in the face and end everything as they know it. Not much for them to lose anyway. Why are you all of a sudden intent on me taking my meds? Pretty different from college, right? This is so different, Cameron. I know I talked shit on psychology before. I acted like I knew what it was about, but like you say, everyone changes. It's because I'm a problem to you now, and you just want me to take what will make me not crazy. Even if it makes me feel like shit. I want you to get better. I'm not going to get better, Devin. This is permanent. It doesn't mean you can't get better, that's the point. And then I'll relapse. If you relapse, we'll help you get better again. I don't even care about the stupid voice anymore, even the tics. Fuck you, I'll make you care, you piece of shit. Tick, tick, tick. But it feels like my soul has been sucked out. And I don't know if it's the meds or the crazy or just me, but I hate it. I hate it too. I hate it so much. I hate that you feel this way. That's why I'm doing this. But you don't even have a fucking clue what this is like. Everyone just talks about the voices and the hallucinations and delusions, but what about the cognitive shit? I can't think, nothing feels real, and I feel dead. You're right, I don't, but you're all I think about almost every minute of the day because I see you suffer, and I want to stop it. Lies, idiot, fucking faggot. Hurt and kill him. No! We are not doing that! I'm probably suffering because of the meds. It's like back when I was in college, but 10 times worse. I can't write or even listen to music anymore. I don't want to do anything. Come on, Cameron, this is the main reason people relapse. The positive symptoms go away, they think they're better, then they stop their meds so the negative symptoms aren't as bad, and then they relapse. You need time, a year at least, and maybe we can start tapering off, but not now. And what if I do relapse? It's like only half of schizophrenics that even achieve a full 10-year remission. Medical literature he's obsessed over pours out of his mouth. Shitty quality of life, up to 30 years off the average life expectancy. Incurable. Then we'll try again, right? A burst of anxiety from Devin. When Cameron ever thought hard on what he might do, he'll suppose that he'd consider ending it. This is how the rest of his life will play out. He's sure he will eventually. Only when Devin isn't here to take that blow. He hates you and wants you to die. The voice continues to talk and Cameron rubs his ear, trying to ground himself. Right. The obvious signs of Cameron having an episode seems to bring Devon back down as well. The bear quickly hugs Cameron. I'm sorry. Oh. Despite his sore and sensitive skin, it feels good after the burst of anger and sadness. I'm just sad. I'm sad because I had a good life with you, and it feels like it was just yesterday, but it's gone now. It's strange. He can remember his past life so vividly, feeling of being mostly normal in his brain. This is such a sad story. Like in Echo, like everything like shit hit the fan in Echo, and like it took like more of like the more horror aspect of it for that approach, and this is taking like the more realistic approach to like once you go to Echo and you experience all these horrible things, then the trauma lives with you. That's actually so sad. Devon squeezes him tighter. You always talk about the new year, and we just have to wait for him to get there. We'll have a new life. It'll just be a tough couple of months, maybe a bit longer. Cameron sniffles. What day is it anyway? Like the 15th? 24th, I think. I forgot that your birthday was last week. I just remembered now. Devon laughs. Honestly, me too. Oh, I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Cameron. He really did not deserve any of this. The hardest thing about the particular argument for Devon was that he completely empathized with Cameron. He can't imagine being in that situation, made to take medication that changes him so fundamentally that he's not in full control of his movements, or even his breathing. The coyote's just justified in being angry, sad, childish, and sometimes outright spiteful. That doesn't mean it isn't unsettling to see the Cameron lash out and cry in ways that Devon has never seen him come close to before. At points, it feels like he's watching the deconstruction of a life in real time. It leaves his stomach feeling hollow and sick like it did days after Brian had a go at it. The thoughts of the old bear makes Devon so angry that now he wishes that man was still alive. At least there'd been a chance for him to try and knock out a few more of his teeth in court during the victim impact statement or something. And the stress continues to build as Cameron's condition remains unstable. The transfer was scheduled for November, and Devon's trying to type up an extremely apologetic and professional email to explain the situation, and also request a possible video meeting to delay the transfer. It's a reasonable request, especially considering the state of the world at the moment. Oh, here we go. But then seemingly out of nowhere his breathing picks up speed. Confused, Devon watches as the edge of his vision begins to Oh my god, wait! Devon is seeing this too now! He can't figure out why he suddenly feels as if he's going to pass out. The first thing that comes to Devon's mind is Arturo's older brother who died of a pulmonary embolism after his surgery. The one that Artie talked about casually while high, even though Devon knows he's still devastated by it. Devon stands up from his desk, walking, then sinking into the ground as the room spins. Cam, I need help, please, I can't. Before he can stop himself, he blurts out Cameron's name, simultaneously questioning whether that's a good idea or not. Cameron seeing his boyfriend die in front of him won't exactly help his mental state, so it's better that he's probably sleeping like a rock right now. He pulls out his phone, and as he's on his knees, having pressed the 9-1 before very groggy, sedated Cameron comes in, his expression of bleary and confusion turning to fear. Don't worry, I can't catch my fucking breath. A look of recognition comes over the coyote's face, and kneeling in front of Devon, he presses the bear's head against his chest. Oh, that's so cute! He's doing the role reversal with... Oh my god. Devon, it's okay. We're okay. Breathe with me. Devon's not sure if that's what the problem is, but after just a few seconds it stops. You okay? I've never seen you like that before. Devon sees Cameron's neck twitch multiple times, and he immediately feels like an idiot. Here he is having a stupid breathless panic attack while Cameron is having vocal tics that force him to almost pass out from not being able to breathe. Devon tries to get him to go back to bed, but Cameron sleeps on the sofa in the study, determined to be there if if Devon needs him again. Well, Devon feels like he should be the one doing the comforting right now. He's glad to have Cameron there. So that's what the coyote feels like when he's panicking. A scary moment, but Devon doubts he'll let let the feeling sneak up on him again now that he's familiar with it. He had considered therapy and medication like he's constantly trying to find for Cameron, but a part of him has to admit that he's scared too. Besides, he's not bad enough that he needs help. He'll settle on what always helped him deal with the stress in the past, which is being active. Exercise will be good for the both of them, actually. Once he sends this email, he'll figure out how to renew both of their gym memberships, assuming the place is still even open. Or just play the game myself. Do it. You won't. Ooh, hello. Devin steps out of the gym, taking a deep breath of the frigid February air. There aren't many cars or people on the street, not this early on a Saturday morning. Probably because they're sleeping in like they should be. Devin instinctively begins to reach out for Cameron's paw, but he's not there. He hasn't been there for a while now. Almost a year? What we used to be is there at home in the urn, sitting in Cameron's old dresser along with all the Coyote's other little possessions that Devin had kept. It hurts even more because he's almost certain that Cameron would have loved this city. He would do a much better job remembering that Cameron isn't right next to Myth. Quit thinking about me like I'm dead. I'm not. I'm thinking about you like you're physically gone. Wait, is Cameron dead? No, he can't be dead. I do miss being physically present. I guess it could be dead, but it doesn't really matter. You're not dead. I'm just like your vessel now. That's such a creepy word. Just say I'm like your passenger. By the way, you reek. It's Saturday, so I don't have to work. Besides, I'm not taking a shower when the air dryer temperature is room temperature. I mean, I didn't say I didn't like it. It's from a fresh workout. Devin grunts as he makes his way through the parking lot towards his car. You're pushing yourself really hard, to be honest. Take it easier next time. Taking it easy is what got you hurt. Anyway, the more echoes we can kill off, the better. The emphasis on echoes. It's come back. I doubt we can have that much of an impact, Devin. This shit's old, ancient even. It's a lot bigger than us in a lot of different ways. I just want to see how well this works out. If it can be done, maybe we can tell the others about it. Start a movement. To kill off haunted places at the source? But how many people have their dead boyfriend in their head giving them psychic abilities? Well, I won't tell them that part, just the psychic part. Wait! So he is dead then! Gonna take my credit for my abilities? Hey, I'm learning to fight too. You see how much I've been bulked up? Devin flexes his muscles underneath his winter coat and padding, muscles he wishes he had when he fought Brian. I didn't know you could punch ghosts, and I wish you'd get a different coach. He beats on you way too hard. I knew what I was getting into. Anyway, remember about the source. Usually it's some shitty person feeding these places. Oh well, punching real people sounds worse actually. Either way, this is all a good workout. You should try. Devin catches himself halfway through saying it, even though he knows it's coming and even though he tries to stop it. The imagery of Cameron's ruined face flashes through his mind. Oh no, 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 no! I know what this is! This is that alternate timeline, isn't it? This is the timeline where Brian shot him in the face. And Cameron died. Oh no, that's actually so sad. So in this reality, it did happen. No! No, 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 no! Oh my god, you cannot fucking do this to me. You cannot fucking do this to me, I swear to Christ. He should just be happy that Coyote is still talking to him. That he's still with them. Kind of. I miss you. Please don't do that, Devin. I'm right here. Well, I want to hold you. You basically are. I'm giving you a big emotional hug right now. You might also be feeling out of your muscles too. because he bulked up nicely. Devin laughs and wipes his eyes. Thanks, Cam. Cameron watches all of this, but not that Cameron is in Devin's head. The Cameron that avoided the shotgun that survived. He's had these dreams a few times. At first he simply thought of them to be traumatic nightmares from a traumatic event. But this is one of those dreams that feels so real he almost can't tell if he's dreaming. They're not really nightmares either. Usually they're mundane, kind of funny and kind of sad. The dreaming Cameron, for some reason, doesn't trust this passenger Cameron at all. This version of himself feels off, almost like there isn't even a soul to go with him. Otherwise he sounds and acts just like he does or did before the diagnosis. It makes him wonder if he'd trade off given the opportunity. Cameron isn't waking up, and so with little else to do, he reaches out mentally and digs into this other Cameron a bit deeper. Oh, that's... Okay, so I get what's happening. So I remember when Brian had us pinned against the tree, they said that Brian, or like Cameron unlocked like this sort of ability where like he could see everything everywhere all at once. I'm not referencing the movie, by the way, but like he could see everything, and like he could see like these alternate realities of himself and these different timelines. It's starting to make sense now. So he isn't actually dead, thank fuck. But like this is like the reality where it would have happened. And that's like one of the realities that he saw when Brian had the shotgun to his face. That is just incredible, dude. What he sees lasts only a second. After tearing out Brian's throat, this Cameron immediately began communicating with Devin. It's not an illness, not like what Cameron has, but it's still Echo. It's a part of that town, and Cameron doesn't want this Devin to... Devin, he's back. Dude, that made me sit up straight in my chair. Holy shit. Holy shit, dude. Ooh. A feeling difficult to describe comes over Cameron. Something from the dead Cameron, the entity that acts and talks like Cameron, the thing that's currently attached to that Devin. Oh god, we're back here. He's tied up, bound with rope with a foul-tasting gag rag gagging him. The big bear had gone for over an hour, but no matter how hard he tries, he can't make the zip ties and chains move. And then his stomach turns, and the meal Brian had bought him at the bar starts to come back up. He's going to throw up, but he's chained down on his back with a gag in his mouth. He's going to throw up, and then he's going to drown. Vomit floods his mouth. Cameron leaps out of bed, one paw over his muzzle. He stubs his toe horrifically on the door from to the bathroom, bending back the cloth so that it's left bleeding and almost ripped out. But he makes it to the toilet in time to retch up the small amount of whatever it is that's in his stomach. His name was Alan, a rat. Cameron thinks, but the coyote can't remember the last name of the man who drowned in his own vomit. Cameron sobs, both for himself and for the poor young rat that lived a short, hard life, only for it to end by choking on the shitty food Brian lured him in with. After a minute, the coyote calms down and listens, thankful that Devin is an incredibly heavy sleeper. What he's seen definitely happened, and even though the police stopped trying to interview him after learning about his schizophrenia diagnosis, he would still pull up in an anonymous tip tomorrow. Cameron knows there's at least twice as many victims that the police knew about, and he plans to report every single one that he sees. Summer of 2021. Wow. So a full year after this happened. Half a year later, Cameron finally starts to feel as if he's starting to live life again. Not his old life, but a new, unfamiliar one. Tapering down his meds along with exercising definitely helped, which is why he came here with Devin to visit Arturo. Oh my god, wait, that's right! Wait, how is Arturo doing? We need to see him! When he sees his old friend, he feels a bit better just based on the shape of his amalgamation. It's a bit more full, and while it's still damaged, it's also at peace. Cameron knows that feeling. He's different now and he's accepted that. But he's still Arturo, which the cat has come to accept too. He's just different now, changed like everyone changes. A terrible dramatic change, but one that can happen to anyone. Things always tend to get worse, but when they tend to get better too. And Cameron knows this just by looking at Arturo. While the coyote did want to see his old friend, he also wanted to know a few other things. His methods are morally questionable, but he justifies it since he's tired of being kept in the dark. An hour before they get there, Cameron eats a piece of chocolate from the backpack he brought for their stay at the motel. Devin complains when Cameron says that it was the last one, but the coyote knows the bear would lose his mind if they knew exactly what Cameron did. And that was microdosing psilocybin. Stupid, idiotic, unbelievable, when it could cause severe lasting damage? Idiot. Might have been what triggered his schizophrenia, but his abilities increased tenfold even on this tiny amount. Besides, it made him feel better. Of course, he'll tell Devin when more time passes, but the bear had shown almost zero interest in the paranormal as of late. Maybe he'll just tell him that he's taking it for a mood lift. For now, he just wants to take in the emotion in the conversation. Oh, look at them! What I'm trying to do is get rid of this damn limp. That's what people notice most if I'm not talking. Oh, so he's got a limp and he's got like a stutter now. Hey, but look at him, he's still the same guy. Wait, what does his shirt say? I think the blue one says self-motivation, esteem, love, belonging, safety, physiologics. I have needs. That's a pretty cool shirt. I like that. Cameron smiles pleasantly despite the fact that Arturo is much more guarded and fortified mentally than anyone else he's met, which is the last thing that he'd expected. I actually didn't even notice. Well, next time you see me walk. Anyway, I hear you're working on your masters, Devin. Every stutter, every struggle feels like a physical blow to Cameron, but he tries not to show it. He knows Artie doesn't want useless pity right now, and Cameron always hated it too. Yep, up at the University of Deseret. Sweet! In what? Mechatronics or robotics? Of course, and how's that, how's that progressing? Good, just finished up my first semester. And the place you're working at, they're financing it. That's really quick. I'm at the same company. It was always part of the plan once we moved. I still gotta graduate for them to reimburse my tuition, though. No pressure. I don't know how he does it all. Work, school, cooking, gaming? And you're good at all of it. That's just like him. He'd party and drink the night before a final, then ace it while hungover. Cameron is close enough to Devin to see his skin flush under his fur. While some might find Devin to be overly humble, it has more to do with the sort of imposter syndrome. Cameron knows it must be awkward to be praised for not having to study or work as hard as his fellow students and coworkers. Despite that, Cameron still feels proud knowing his boyfriend is already inching into a leadership position at the company. He has no doubt the bear will be doing incredible things in his career. So how are things going for you? What are you doing these days? Weren't you thinking about going back to work at that specialized school? Yep, Spectrum Solutions Academy, and I'm already back. Went back as soon as I got vaccinated. Still on RBT working with kids with low functioning autism. How is it? Great! It's almost like going back home. I'm supposed to have like 2 clients, but they got back about 5 on me now. They were so happy to see me, but they could tell something's a bit off about me though. It sounds a bit rough. Is your recovery still going well? Artie visibly draws into himself a bit. I like it to call it a process these days. Most of the recovery's over, I think. Ah, I see. It's silent for just a second too long. Cameron's slow response is mainly due to being distracted, having finally deciphered Artie's general thoughts, feelings, and emotions. In that moment, that guard has slipped, and Cameron realizes Artie knows he's psychic. Of course, he told him that, but now he knows it, truly believes it, and for the past almost 2 years, he'd realized how much of this had happened because of Cameron. Arturo was afraid of Cameron? The cat senses the strangeness, the offness of who Cameron is now. Arturo also wonders if it's possible that the coyote brought a piece of Echo into the house with them. That shadow entity had entered him and never came back out as far as Arturo knows. Who's to say it's not still... That is a good point. I thought it was going to do something completely fucked up there. Maybe it's like a management phase. That's what Cam calls it anyway, right honey? Devin, probably confused by the tension, tries to add more to the conversation. That's right. That piece of shit still hurt you pretty badly too, huh? Yeah, really, it's a schizophrenia I was diagnosed with afterwards that I'm still trying to manage. Cameron suddenly decides to just tell Arturo about his own struggles, if only to look for some sympathy, understanding. It seems unfair to not tell him, for some reason anyway. For a moment, Arturo's expression becomes one of genuine sadness. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Cameron. Was it from what happened? I hope it wasn't from the weed. No, I think that's what happened after that it pushed me over the edge. I see. That makes sense. Did they think it would have happened anyway eventually? Cameron shrugs. Maybe. I think I might have been in a prodromal state for years. It's obvious I was on the brink for a while. He'll never know. For that moment though, he feels like he and Artie made a connection. Artie understands that they have completely different problems, but they're both life-changing, and the two of them are bound to these problems for the remainder of their lives. Then Artie senses that darkness, that bit of echo emanate from Cameron again, and he mentally recoils. It's been a rough road, but we managed to find some stability at the end of last year. God, it's such a pain in the ass trying to settle on the right meds. That took Maria a few years, I think. Hey Maria! There's some rustling from the hallway and a young leopard comes into the living room. Maria clearly haven't been very nearby in the hall. Why'd you go? Just wanted to give you guys some space. We were just talking about how long it could take to adjust to the meds. Maybe you could give them some advice again? Aw, look at that! We get to see his girlfriend for the first time. Aw. She leans in to give Artie a kiss, and Arturo takes it without a single hint of embarrassment or annoyance. Another solid rock on Artie's life, and one day that will stay until the end. While Cameron would normally never invade someone's mind like this, the coyote doubts he'll have many chances to do so again in the future. He needs to know if Artie's on a good track or not. Maria turns to Cameron, and because they themselves have been friends for years, even a little longer than he's known Devin, he can tell that this is weirdly set up. Oh yeah, antidepressants, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers. Feels like I've been through almost all of them. Yeah, it makes me want to sleep all day, but also tear out my fur and crawl out on my skin. Cameron likes Maria a lot, and just like Devin and Arturo, they slip back into the old swing of things. It's nice, but he can't help but notice that how he's been swept out of the conversation with Arturo. Aww. Anyway, the main reason why I went back to work this early is because I needed something more natural. Sure, things are harder now. Stuttering, memory shit, can't really depend on the right side of my body anymore. But fuck, it's nice not being cooped up here living on a disability. But the only thing work has complained about is, I guess my inhibitions are a bit lower than they used to be. I swear, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I haven't ever noticed that. Oh yeah, they said something about too many words, too little tact like 30 years ago, so I'm pretty sure it's just me. I can kind of tell that it might be affecting you now, but sometimes it's hard to tell the side effects from symptoms of psychosis, especially from the residual negative symptoms. I mean, positive symptoms are obvious, but making your thoughts flow normally again, making yourself want to go back outside, talk to people, live, that tends to come back last, and sometimes it comes back a bit different. Sometimes it doesn't come back at all. Now, while he tries to hold a conversation about psychiatric medications with Maria, he realizes how much things have changed. In fact, Cameron's visions hold true. This will be one of the last handfuls of times he'll speak to Artie. It hurts. It leaves Cameron feeling a deep pit of guilt, shame, and even a little anger, but mostly because it's unfair and he can't blame anyone. But as he watches his old friend laugh and talk to Dev, almost like what happened never happened, Cameron sees a long, solid friendship ahead of them, and he's happy for that. Cameron realizes, even without having to read minds, that Maria is specifically there to keep Cameron distracted, to keep him away from Arturo. That finally shuts up the psychic part of Cameron's brain. Rather than leaving a hollow feeling, he's left feeling like he's been punched. Why are they treating him like a monster? Like he's the one. The final thought he receives is from Maria, deep down under her concern for Cameron's diagnosis. She's wondering if he's prodding at Arturo's mind. Arturo can sense him. His insensitivity is subtle, almost too understated to be picked up on, but it's there, and that's why he feels like Cameron is carrying Echo with him. Cameron is mainly worried that Arturo knows what he's doing right now, and his neck and cheeks become warm as he feels like he's been caught in the act. Maria mentioned something about how she has tardive dyskinesia, and Cameron focuses back on their conversation, genuinely curious if he's gotten better for her with time. And that's how the rest of the afternoon plays out. The reason he'll only see Arturo 2 or 3 more times in his life isn't because of Arturo or Maria. It's because Cameron knows he can't come back here and cause him stress like this. Cameron is no longer part of or welcome in their lives, and he won't impose himself again. Despite the hurt from learning their true feelings about him, Arturo's future is, if he has to sum it up, a happy one. Oh, but that's actually kind of sad though. Yeah, that's actually really sad. Ooh. March 2020. Holy crap. Okay, so that's actually not that far from here. Time continues on its steady, unrelenting march, and it brings up with both good and bad. The pandemic falls into the background. Political instability comes to the forefront. Money becomes tighter, but the world keeps moving as it tends to. Oh my god, these connections, dude, they're so freaking good. It still leaves Devin almost breathless at the idea that he changed their lives in one weekend. While he never really personally hated anyone to the point that he just wanted to hurt them, he does now. But that person is dead. He got the easy way out. For the first year, Devin wasn't sure how he'd continue his life. Cameron was either always sedated to the point of almost becoming unresponsive, or angry and sad to the point that he'd just sit in the bathroom and cry. The feeling of helplessness of knowing that Cameron wanted to be dead. He'd given up so much that he even told the bear he'd take opioids again if he could. So Dev started doing things he didn't want to do. Checking Cameron's drawers, pockets, and his side of the closet when he wasn't around. He's angry at the medical professionals who sent Cameron home because he simply had intrusive thoughts. This had relieved Cameron, though Devin was unsure. In fact, he knew it wasn't right, but Cameron was so happy and it seemed to stop the episode. Then over the next 2 days, he was in a deep psychotic state. His intrusive thoughts were actually through insertions, and by the time they got back to the hospital, he was screaming like he was actually dead. He accused Devin of planting speakers in the walls and cameras in the mirror, which he shattered. Over that first month, it was a normal sight to see Cameron sitting up in bed, brushing away non-existent bugs, completely unresponsive to anything Devin would say. But that's 2 years behind them now, and Cameron is finally starting to really live and become someone who seems to enjoy life again. Because while the positive symptoms of delusions, hallucinations, and depersonalization have been practically absent over the past year, the negative symptoms lingered. Devin had read about that over and over again. Lack of motivation, lack of interest in things that once gave pleasure, lack of expressive emotions, and moments of confusion and disorganized thought. It was the anhedonia that scared Cameron the most. We turned the other way at the lake. It could have all been different. Yeah, Echo doesn't seem like such a nice place to go ghost hunting now, does it? It scared Devin too, because what's a life worth living if you don't want to do the things you trained and aspired to do most of your life? Despite being able to listen to music again, Cameron decided a few months back to finally hang up his guitar. Cameron's paw is still weak and it still has a slight tremor to it when he holds it up. But Cameron hadn't touched his keyboard either, leaving it unplugged and dusty in their basement. The sight made Devin far more sad than it did Cameron. He still wonders if it had been more of an advocate for Cameron, maybe pushed for further observation, they could have stopped the psychosis before it truly spiraled. Maybe he'd be his old self. Oh, I love that! What's wrong? You reading my mind again? No, I can read your face. Devin doesn't want to bring down Cameron's mood. He's the one that wanted to come out and walk out in the snow, and if Cameron wants to do something engaging and active, Devin will do it with him. It's strange that they got so much of it in March and probably would be the last snowfall. I'm just realizing how out of shape I am. You think I'm starting to get a gut? Like a bad one? Aren't you on the thinner side of a bear nearing 30? Nearing 30, wow. Cameron makes a point of looking at Devin's midsection, then prods through it, making the bear huff. Well, it is kind of squishy. Devin blushes. You caught me by surprise, and you just got done saying I wasn't fat. You're not fat, you're bare. I just didn't think I'd feel the plunge through your coat. Cameron tries again, but as expected, Devin is tensed up and there's little squishing to be had this time. Let's sit down. Devin brushes the snow off a bench for them. Hey, I hope I'm not annoying you. Devin closes his eyes in guilt, taking a deep breath. No, I'm just worried about different things. I'm happy to be out here walking with you. It's good for the gut anyway. Oh, this is so cute now. Cameron rolls his eyes as they sit down. I'm getting chubbier too, you know. It happens, and I love your body. If you want to fool around tonight, I can have a closer look. Cameron leans against Devin's shoulder. Only if I get to have a look at you too. Deal. And if we deem each other to be too chubby, we can go on a diet or something. Devin finds it strange that Cameron is usually the one cheering him up now. The coyote's worried about him, and Devin wishes he wouldn't be. Still, it makes him feel warm inside, and he leans in to nuzzle Cameron. As he kisses the coyote, he realizes that this is a good moment in his life. A day that he'll look back on fondly. A day he'll look on back for comfort when harder days inevitably arrive. Devin glances up at the temple they're sitting across the street from. I always wondered what that golden dude with the stick is doing up there. It takes Cameron a few seconds to understand what Devin is talking about. The guy on top of Mormon temples? That's the Angel Moroni, and he's holding a horn. He buried the gold plates. How do you know that? Some Mormon friends told me. Oh, Cody the bull? Yeah. You thinking about converting? Maybe if they ever become okay with this. Cameron leans close to Devin again. Devin smiles and they hold each other for a while. Something on Cameron's mind, though. Something's on Cameron's mind though, but Devin knows to wait until the canine is ready. Devin, did you ever find what you were looking for? Devin immediately knows what Cameron's referring to, and it makes his stomach twist into knots. I'll only bring it up once, but I keep thinking about why we went in the first place. I just wonder if you were able to, figure stuff out. Devin stares down at Cameron, and even though the coyote isn't intentionally pointing out Devin's cascade of failures into catastrophic failure, he feels it. I figured out that it doesn't matter. It isn't worth finding out. That I need to focus on us. Devin feels the sting of tears in his eyes, but forces it back. I figured out I made a huge mistake, and I deeply hurt my friends. Brian hurt us. Cameron says it almost instantly. You just don't seem as happy or as outgoing as you used to be. I know you're really busy with work and you just got your master's degree, which is so cool, but you seem... Hey, it's like you said, we change. It's not really a divide, right? It's like chapters in our lives. We change with each one, and the last one we went through was brutal. Yeah, nothing stays the same. We don't fully recover or become who we used to be. And still, we always want to go back to how it used to be. Devin feels a deep twinge in his chest, thinking about what life would be like now if he just made the right turn. It's like how they say you can never go home again because home isn't just a place, but it's people, and it's at a certain time, and when it ends, it ends. You can never go back. Baby, I love you so much, and I know it sounds dumb as hell, but I can be your home. Be around as long as you want me to be, so you can always go home. I always will. Sorry if I was sounding depressing. I honestly feel home with you. You're the only home I've got. But you know what's weird? I sense a lot from that temple. I've sensed it in other spiritual places too. Like those Buddhist shrines in Huxia town. And those little shops when you see the mediums and psychics. I It feels like they're taking in energy and letting energy out too. It's like a portal. Huh? What do you think that means? I guess there's hope for everyone. Lupita, Artie, you and me, and that maybe instead of nothing there's... Oh, that is so cute! Devon, overwhelmed with grief, happiness, and love, and loss, kisses Cameron. They kiss for a long time, and Devon desperately hopes Cameron is right, because more than anything, he wants to start fresh again and do it right. For now, though, he's here with his husband, sitting and watching the snow fall silently, and that's okay. Wait, so they got married? Because whether they disappear forever or go somewhere else, it'll be together. Devon feels a little hope reignite in his chest. There might be something. There might be nothing. But he's content to wait and find out. But that'll be a long ways away, he's sure. Not until they're 110 after all. No, it's the end. Oh my god. Howley. Oh my god. Howley and Paint Fox. Oh my god. And Anthemix for the awesome music. And Cardamon for background art. Oh my god, dude. And Paint Fox again for the... Oh my... Dude, what a game! Like, I feel like that this is truly the good ending for like Echo altogether. I feel like that this is like without a doubt the best ending to kind of wrap up this series. God, like this was so sad and it was so scary and so sad and so cute all at the same time. God, man. This was so beautiful. Oh man, I wish that this could have been longer. Thank you to all of our patrons and everyone who made this project possible. And thank you for making... Oh my god. Ah, there's Arches! There's the logo! Thank you so much, Howley and Painted and everybody that was involved with the creation of Arches. Just purely thank you, because I feel like that this was the love letter that we needed to really end Echo altogether. So, what comes after this? Is this just done here? Oh my god. Oh my god, wait. Huh? Wait, is this because like it's because they left? Oh, wait. This just goes back to the short story, right? I think so, yeah. Yeah, because we've completed this game and everybody is gone. There's literally nothing left for Echo. That is incredible. Who's also involved in this project, not me. Oh my god, there has to be more. That I refuse to believe that that is the end. So obviously, like, we've seen these. This is the first, very first screens that we've seen. I really wish that this lasted a lot longer. And here was the very first screens of when shit started to really hit the fan. And then the whole car chase, or the whole thing where we saw Sydney in the road. Then here was the claw monster, or the raincoat monster. Oh my god. I really don't want it. I really don't want it to end like this. Wait, when did we see this one? Wait, did we ever see this one? I actually don't remember this one. Hi there, Spitfire from the future here. So, I looked this up after stream, and I figured out where we were supposed to see this. So, we have to go back like 3 months ago. Wow. I guess that really goes to show you how consistent I am with uploads lately. But I wanted to show you guys exactly where we were supposed to see this scene here. So if we go here, let's get the music back. Oh wait, no. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so as soon as this popped up, we were supposed to see this. So I don't know why it never worked for me, but I saw other playthroughs of it, and this scene popped up just fine. I might have a bug copy of the game, but hey, it's still a pretty cool find nonetheless. Okay, back to the original video. This was such a beautiful, like, love letter to, like, close the Echo Saga altogether. Like, it's legitimately sad to see that, like, we've completed this game already, but, like now literally nothing is here. I think that's it, chat. That is Arches by the Echo Project. Ah, I just didn't expect it to end so soon. Like, I know like this isn't Echo, and well, like, we're in the same universe, but this isn't Echo where like they took 5 years to develop this game. This was made in like 1.5 years, or 2 years, or actually no, 3 years actually. This took 3 years of writing, or it was either 2.5. I forgot, but it was either one of those two. But this started shortly after Echo was finished. But even so, I just didn't expect it to end so soon. That actually makes me sad. I think we're gonna have to end it here, chat. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me on this wonderful, wonderful journey of Arches tonight. And thank you all so much for watching this whole series. Like, as short as Arches was, I thoroughly enjoyed the experience, and for this to be the final episode of Arches, it's kind of sad. The writing was just so good, and I loved all the connections to real life situations, and I just love, like, the retcons, like, front to back, beautifully made. But yeah, this is it, chat. Arches by the Echo Project. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.